How's it going, Scrub Gamers? Welcome back to another video, this time on the Beerus deck profile. So covering the red Beerus, the one and only true Beerus really, because the blue one isn't as strong even with the reboot. But I feel like with coming into set 11 now, Beerus could be a good option, because red is getting a bit stronger, and it does give you a lot of good cards. Beerus, like, you don't need to, it's got a good effect in the fact that you don't have to attack to draw cards, and you can draw 2 a turn. You discard one first, but yeah, and you can make use of putting things in the drop, especially for one its awakened side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the cards themselves, and do what I usually do: go over the leader, then the cards in the deck, go over a few combos, and your normal turns. So from turn 1 onwards. So with the leader, it's got an activate main, 10k on the front side as well. Activate main, once per turn, choose one red or yellow card in your hand, place it in your drop side, discard it, and draw 2 cards. So that's very strong in the fact that you can discard any red or yellow card and draw 2 new cards. So anything that's dead in your hand or you don't want, or you want put in your grave for any reason, like you can see on the screen, we got the Goku 8, the Whis that helps you soft awaken. Yeah, mainly those two, or any of the dual colours ready for its awakened side. And then it's got the aggressive awakening of when you're alive for 4 or less, you get to untap 2 energy and awaken and flip over. So that's really good, and it gives you more energy for your turn, because you get enough draw power off the leader's effect and off the deck in general, that drawing extra cards isn't really needed. But the untap 2 is really good, allow you to play more things. So it means when you go to turn 3 and play your Unison, you can flip it, you can awaken and untap, have 2 energy ready if you want to. And then we have the Beerus Furious Strike on awakened side. Two activate skills, an activate main and activate battle. So you got the activate main is a once per turn for 1 red and 1 yellow. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. So it means if you want to get rid of something on your opponent's board and you don't want to use any cards, you can just tap 2 energy. As long as one's a red, one's yellow, pop something. It doesn't get through barrier, but still popping something on your opponents for just 2 energy. So not use any cards is very strong. And the activate battle is, which the main one is once per turn. You choose 1 red and yellow, so 1 red yellow multicolor card in your drop area and combo with it. So it's very strong in that mostly all dual color cards are 10k combo. So most of them are. I know there are some that are like 5k, but still they all require 1 energy to tap. And then with this deck, all the multicolors are 10k combos. So it basically means once per turn on both on either your or your opponent's turn, you're getting a free 10k combo when you're awakened. So that's really strong in the fact that free combo power is always good. Free combo for no energy or no cards is very, very strong. And it also triggers awakening for free, because you don't have to combo anything. You just use the effect, combo and drop, and then you have your arrival all ready to use. And there's a lot of cards that you can use for. There's a lot of options. So and with the leader, you can on your front side discard a dual color card to draw 2, and then when you awaken, it's there ready for you to use. So it's really easy to set up. And it's a very strong awakened side. But the only thing you got to notice on the leader is it only draws on the awakened side. So once you on the unawakened side, so once you awaken, you get no more draw power from the leader, but you are getting a free combo piece. So it kind of makes up for that. But with your leader, with the deck in general, you're going to be drawing you want to stay on your unawakened side as long as possible, to basically just accrue a lot of cards. And then with the deck. So instead of what I normally do, go through the cards in like little bits, so I'm just go from the top to the bottom. So first off, we have the only overwhelm card in the deck, which is Fu the Dark Banisher. And this is a very strong overwhelm card. It requires 4 energy, so you're not dropping it till turn 4 at the least. And you need 8 in your drop, so you need tap 4 to overwhelm it. Well, you need tap 4 and at least 8 in drop to overwhelm it, which is easy enough to pour for this leader. And it's got a nice permanent of what's on the field. If your opponent wants to use any skills, use any skills or anything, before they can do it, they need to warp a card from hand, which means they want to use a negate. They've got a warp a card from hand, then use a negate. If they want a combo and you trigger the auto off a combo, like a draw from a super combo, you have to warp a card before the draw. So it means when you drop this, normally you're going to want to drop this when you go for a game, so you can wilt your opponent's hand as you put a lot of pressure on. So it's very strong. Typically, when you go to games 2 and 3, you can side this out for the Dark Banisher Fu. Not sorry, like I said, it's Dark Banisher. You can side it out for the Fu Shrouded in Mystery, because that's a strong one in this format to help close out. It is a turn 6 play, and it's where this can be dropped turn 4. But yeah, I feel it's the best overall card for the deck, really, because it at least applies a lot of pressure. And it also triple strike, meaning 25 and 25k is a sweet spot, as I mentioned before in other videos. Yeah, and being a triple strike of 25 is going to put a lot of pressure, so it's worth it. It's worth the cost. And then next we have the only unison we're playing in the deck, which is a Sin Shenron unison. Now there are quite a lot of red unisons. A lot of red unisons are quite strong, but I've opted to go for the Sin Shenron. For the fact that it's really powerful, and the fact that it's got a permanent. So when it comes down, it's going to at least get 3 markers minimum when it comes down. So it means 3 20k swings combo to basically take it down if you don't use the +1 effect. That means that most of the time when any swing is, it's normally a 15k, like especially on the leader, and that means your opponent's going to have to use a card with their leader to take a marker off this, which is good. It means they're using cards to take off markers where you're not using, and where you can't defend anyway, but they have to use resources to take it out. And being 20k means is very strong in applying pressure and forcing cards, as I just said, to take markers off it. And its permanent is very nice in the fact that it allows all your red cards to attack cards in active mode, which means your leader, if your opponent is trying to keep everything in active mode, so you can't attack it, so you have to force attack the leader. This card now makes it so your leader doesn't care. Your leader can attack any cantrips your opponent might have on the field, or any battle cards in active mode, which makes it a lot better. And it's got really two very strong skills in the fact it's at +1 at main. You can choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards and minus them by 15k for the turn. That's very strong, and that's a nice bit of board clearance, which is good for the deck, because you want to clear off your opponent's board. Because as I said, you want to stay unawakened as long as possible to keep getting a chrome advantage from the leader's activate main, and also it just allows you to stay unawakened because it's easier to combo off if there's less attacks, and also allows you to make running over things a lot easier as well if they're quite strong cards. But most of the time, minus 15k, you normally get rid of stuff. And then there's a -2 skill which is good to use and very strong. Is also an active main. It allows you to look at your opponent's hand and choose any battle card in your opponent's hand that has 25 power or less, and make him discard it. So it's really good in the fact that it gives you hand knowledge, which is extremely good in this game, because it allows you to see what your opponent has to defend themselves if you're going to kill them, or what options your opponent has in the next turn against you. And also at the same time you get rid of a card, so you can get rid of a super combo, meaning they've got less super combos, and get rid of a big card they've got that they can play that you don't want. It gives you a lot of options, and normally turn 1 you're going to want to play its +1 effect to mediate the board and get more markers, and then after that, because as you can see in this deck, I'm not playing the Yamcha counterplay, because it's not a strong counterplay. It's not as strong a counterplay as the other 3 counterplays that go with their same colour unisons. So I'm not bothered with that, because all it is really, in my eyes, is the Yamcha is a 315k, but there are better cards to fill the deck. So yeah, you don't really care how many markers this card has when it comes down, because the only card that requires this on the field with markers to have any more benefit is Wolfang Fist, but still you can still tap an energy for Wolfang Fist. It's just a benefit if you've got the unison that you can play for free. But this effect is very strong. You can even use it turn 1 if you want. It just means that it takes 1 attack to get rid of your unison. But normally after turn you drop it, you're going to be using that card to basically just check what your opponent's got in hand, get rid of something you don't want them to have, and then see if you can kill them, and if not, if you can't kill them, to check see what they can do for their turn. So very strong unison, and I feel it's the best one to use. Probably a card that could be switched out for it is the Jiren, because the Jiren at least does a similar thing in the fact that it's the same stats as the unison as a Shinsenron, but its permanent is when your opponent plays something, be it a unison or battle card, you can choose it and minus it by 10k. So it means if they play something, you can either get rid of it or make it weaker so it can't really do as much damage on the turn it's played. And it's got a +1 to give it double strike, which means more pressure, which is that's one of the benefits that the Jiren Unison has over Shinsenron, is the fact they can get itself double strike. So against your opponent's Unison, you're taking more markers off, or putting more pressure on your opponent with double strike. And it has a good second marker skill for -3 to activate battle, just when your opponent's battle cards, minus it fruit barrier for 25, minus 25. That's very strong. I've gone for the Shincheon because normally hand knowledge is what I prefer for this. But yeah, the Jiren Unison is a really good alternative if you want to go for that route. Next we have Wolfgang Fist. It's a nice counter attack. Doesn't negate the skill, but it does minus the leader or battle card that's attacking by 15k. Which on the leader, it means that their leader is now 0 if they're awakened, or -5 if they're not awakened. So they have to come up a lot to do any damage to anything, which is great. Most of the time, or against a battle card, is either doing the same thing or killing it if it's 15 or less. So most of the time when you play this against an attack, unless it's a battle card that's got a high power, or if your opponent's leader card's been boosted, unless the card that's attacking has a high power you can use this on, they're normally going to stop and not bother comboing and just go on to the next attack. So it's a good nice option. We only have it for free because if you don't have this unison on board, if your opponent manages to get rid of it, then you can't play it for free. But even then, tapping 1 energy for this is not too bad. Next we have one of our self-awakened cards in Seikaba. Now I've gone for this over Trunks because they both do the same thing, and they get 10k power and a keyword skill when they attack. They help you self-awaken, which is good in 1 cost, meaning it's very cheap to play. But the Kaba in the current format, with the release of Unison cards, is a lot better in the fact that Trunks can either critical a life from a leader or take 1 damage off of a Unison. So it's either taking 1 mark off a Unison, or either taking a life from your opponent that they're not getting to hand, or force them to combo out. Whereas saying Kaba is taking 2 markers off a Unison card, or potentially doing 2 damage to your opponent, which they might not want to take more than 1 damage, and as also force them to use cards that out combo it. So I've gone for the Kaba, because with Unisons being played in most decks now, it's more helpful to if you don't want to go to apply pressure to your opponent's leader, or you want to get rid of Unison. This is a lot easier because being able to take 2 markers off is very strong. So that's why I've gone for that option. Nothing else about that. It's mainly a self-awakener for the leader, because you've got no self-awaken on the leader. The leader doesn't self-awaken itself. Yes, it doesn't self-awaken. So you need some sort of form of awaken, as if you're not being attacked, you're not gonna basically be able to flip over it on your own terms. And the saying Kaba also, if you can also get after getting rid of Unison by swinging at Unison, it basically on the turn after it's attacked, it's gonna draw attention to itself instead of your leader, because they're not gonna want any more attacks at the Unison if they want to play another one, or at the leader for double strike. So that's that one. And then we got Violent Rays. So this replaced I chose to replace the Topo counterattack for Violent Rays, because they kind of do the same thing, not exactly, but it's good enough. Like for both of them, they both can get the attack, and then you have to discard a card as well for their skill. For their skills like this card, you have to they both basically negate the attack and discard a card, which discarding a card is helpful because it can put if you've overwhelmed or you don't have a double card in hand, you can sort of discard that. Or if you want to put the ape or the Whis in your drop, they can do that. And they both negate the attack, which is good, but Violent Rays is 1 cost less than Topo, and Violent Rays isn't as counterable as Topo is. It's a lot easier to stop Topo from coming into play than it is Violent Rays from triggering. And Topo needs to be played in order to get his auto to make you put a condition on your opponents, make them lose cards, and you also continue attacking. Whereas Violent Rays just puts a condition, which is good. And 20k at the moment, a lot of decks have a lot of 20k beaters, so which means it shuts off a lot. And if you do this on your opponent's leader swing, it means it makes it a lot easier because you can get in the leader swing, which just doesn't, which is its effect, its additional effect doesn't affect at all, and then it puts a restriction that nothing 20k or more can attack. So it means that it's easier to survive an attack that way. And being less accountable, in my opinion, is a lot better. Because there's a lot of things now, unlike there was when Topo first came out, that can stop Topo from being played. So I've gone for Violent Rays because for that reason. And we got, and also it's better. You want to manage your energy a lot better, and 2 is quite costly. Next we have After Image Technique. There's never a card that doesn't negate. Like Wolfang Fist doesn't negate, but at least makes it easier to help against any attack that's going for game. If your opponent's going at you with a triple striker, be able to play this minus if it's a battle card, and if it hasn't got barrier by 10k, then giving your leader a 4k boost, which means they have to combo out, and then you still have your combo step after. So it forces them to use a lot of common power even to get to the same power as your leader after that, and then you still have your combo step. And with your leader having the free combo from drop on his awakened side, means it's going to help you survive any like big swing. Next card we got is the SS Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Son Goku. So this gets the full benefit from your leader, so this is good for if your opponent's going wide. For free energy you play this, has the flex so it can't be stopped by counter plays, and comes down, nukes all your opponent's board by 20k or less. So that's good. It doesn't get through barrier, but then not many decks, or I don't think any deck really has a lot of cards they can go wide with that have barrier. So it's a helpful card to mitigate decks that go wide. So say like a decks like blue that run a boony and get all those tokens out and stuff like that. It helps against that. And if you don't really want to play it, if they don't go wide, he's always got his activate main for 2 energy to minus a battle card through barrier that has 25k. So that's really good. And if your opponent's going, wide, it's a good card to play to go wipe out the board and give yourself a 15k attacker, which is quite good. And it's also easy combo power as well. Or if your opponent's going tall and they drop something like like back in the format, things like assimilated ability Piccolo, or at the moment things like Gotenks, you can minus it instead of attacking over it. Instead of wasting cards attacking over it, you can minus it, or anything that's got barrier basically. The things that people put down with that has barrier and it's quite high power that you can't really get rid of. This is nice to reduce it by 25k. And if there's anything that's stronger than that, you can just use that, and then just Sin Shenron gives your leader the ability to swing into it. So that's always nice. But yeah, it's a nice card. And I feel a thing you need to have for red at the moment to help mitigate, help control wide boards and things through barrier that you don't want around. Next card we got is Zui. So this is one of the other card we have, the Self Awaken, and one you can easily trigger with the ability. So it's a 1-drop that you're normally going to triggers in the drop. So as activate main, you can choose to take one card from your life, and if basically you can use the effect to take up to 1 card from your life, and then you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards and minus a 5k. Now it doesn't go for barrier, and you need to have a red Beerus leader as well, or you need to have a Beerus leader for it. But it's nice in the fact you can discard off your leader, and then at any point you want for free, you just warp it from your drop. Take up to 1 life if you want to, so you don't have to. So if you get the 4 and have awakened and you saw it isn't dropped, there's still 3 cards that can minus something by 5k to make it easier to run over things. So this is just a nice red card that has either combo power or something to drop off your leader, and his self awaken if you need it. It's very strong. Next we've got Free Bowling. So this card's still really strong because for one energy, to give yourself, if your opponent leaves a lot of energy out, like things like Blue Baby Wall and things and other decks, you can just play it for 1. They can either counter it to try and like tap their energy to stop it, the effect from going off, which means it's done a job for 1 energy, you've forced that energy to be used on your terms. Or if you don't, as long as your leader's red, you get to look at your opponent's hand and make them discard a card. I can't remember the conditions on there, but I think it's less than 30k or 35. There's got to be a battle card. So once again, just like Shenron, you get hand knowledge on your opponent, or you're going to force your opponent to use energy on your turn. So very strong card. For 1 energy, it's very cheap and very good. But it's only at 3 because it's not going to always be the play. But it's just nice to have. Then we have 2 hidden powers, Supreme Kai. So this is a very obvious card. This is a combo card to help close out games. Like when your opponent gets 2, be able to swing your leader or swing something else, combo this and other cards to close out game is really good. And the good thing with this card deck is if you combo this, if you swing your leader and combo this, you can then get a free 10k. So normally, if you would just swing with your leader and then combo this, that's 25. But at least with the Beerus leader, the good thing about it is you can free combo a white color to get a 35 minimum when you go for a hidden power Supreme Kai, as long as you don't need effect. So that's very strong in that fact that it's going to be base 35k double strike, but you want to mainly see that for the leader if you're going for game, because it's a lot harder to remove skills, negate skills on a leader, or stop the attack outside of counter attack on a leader swing. Because there are things that you can mid game remove a battle card, like by bouncing it, warping it, reducing its power, things like that. So it gives a safety net in the leader. And then we got the SS4 Goku. So this is basically a card that you want for when you awaken. So you want to try and leave yourself awakened, drop the Beerus when you can to either pop something or, well, they got these two kind of go together. So you got the SS4 Goku and the Beerus. If you don't know, the Beerus is a card that when you awaken is a 30k triple striker that has offering. So you're either drawing 2 cards and making him crit life. And you can play it by sacrificing a red card that has 25 power or less on your has 25 power or more on your field by sacking it off to drop to free play itself when you awaken. When you use your awaken skill. So that's why you want to use your save your awakening skill. And the main way you get trigger it is with the Beerus. So Beerus is a rival card, so you have to have a combo in your combo area. A red and yellow card, or a red and yellow card together, white color. Requires a red and a yellow. Like all the dual colors, it has energy exhaust. When it comes played, you can either choose your opponent's battle cards or leader that are rested and keep it tapped down. So during the next charge phase, they don't untap the leader or the battle card you choose, or you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards. And that affects Eno's Barrier as well, or you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards that are 30k or less and kill it. And with this deck, it's easier to, if they're more than 30k power, to reduce the power, like with the Super Combo, which we'll go over in a bit, to make it so it's easier to get with battle cards within that range to KO them. But normally, the way you're going to trigger off the Goku is by rivaling the Beerus and then awaken, and then sack off rivaling the Beerus, swing with it first because you want to get that free 25k swing with it first. And then awaken after the swing and drop the Goku by sacking off the Beerus. That's a very good play, and it's easy enough in this deck to rival in, because you've got the quite a few battle cards that you can combo off. Like the yellow cards, you only got 4, but then you also got the dual color super combo as well that can trigger at any point. So you don't need because the dual color super combos that require your life to be at a certain amount. And next we got Whis the Spectator, so it's basically just a check land that you normally play, so you can get your Manager energy. You can possibly play it, but most of the time you're not going to want to, and it just gives, you play 4 of them because either it's going to be charged, if you have it in hand when you get to your charge phase, you're going to be charging it, so it comes in, so I have to the first turn, because normally turn 1 you're going to charge a dual colour, and after that start charging these. And even at the worst, you can discard off Beerus, so it's always in the drop for Beerus to use it on his awaken side. Nothing more to be said about that. Then we have the Whis Super Combo. We've gone for this one over the Hull S because it just helps more with self-awakening, and it's a card where if you don't have the energy to, if you're awakened and you don't have the energy to tap for a multicolor, you can combo this off, and like for defensive, you can use this as super combo to defend with, and then on a never attack, you can then use the leader's ability to free play this from the drop, free combo this from the drop, which is good. But it only gets its effect from the hand, so its effect is if your leader's red or yellow, when you combo this card from your hand, you can use one of your opponent's battle cards and minus it by 10k for the turn. So it's very strong in that it helps go tall or go wide, because with go wide you can out combo attack with this and minus something else they can potentially attack with the effect. So it makes surviving 2 attacks easier. Or if they're going wide, if they're going tall, you can combo with this and minus that battle card by 10k, giving a 20k difference, which is very strong. Next we have the only ever arrival card we've got is the King Vegeta and Vegeta Youth. King Vegeta and Vegeta Raw Bloodline. So unlike the Beerus, it's only same with arrival, but it only costs 1 yellow instead of a red and a yellow. And it's got an auto of when you play this card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 3 or less in rest mode, KO it, and draw a card. So when it comes down, you're drawing back a new card in replace of it. Give yourself a 20k beat stick, and it's 20k attacker, and potentially KOing something. So like I said, these 2 cards, the 2 arrival cards, are very good cards for if your opponent's going all in with a battle card that doesn't have barrier. You have these 2 options as a way to KO it, so so instead of, if you don't want to out combo it, or you can't out combo it, you can at least arrival these in to easy enough to then, because the leader can easily trigger them, to then pop the card so the battle fizzles. That's with it, and it's basically just that, as I said, all the dual colour theirs are there basically to charge turn 1, to make it easier to find a dual colour to charge turn 1. They're basically good uses. So with a Wii check land, you can have that to charge any turn after turn 1, and it won't come in as long as you've got a dual colour energy already. It won't come in tapped. And then the last 2 yellow cards we have, our last 2 cards we got are the yellow ones, and we have the Freeze and Goku, basically just a card you can ditch off a leader to put in the drop to use your energy to draw more cards. So it's very strong. So like normally to turn, you're going to want to use the leader's effect, discard this, draw 2 cards, and then tap 2 energy, draw 2 more cards. So if you see the apes early, it's really strong, and you keep a massive hand, so you can awaken earlier if you want to. And it's just nice. It's basically a generic yellow staple from any deck, really. And then we've got the Basil, nice cantrip. That can also potentially become a 90k dual attacker with activate main if your opponent has a lot of cards in rest mode. So at the very least, you can tap 1 energy to draw a brand new card to filter through your deck to see what you want. And if your opponent fulfills the condition of having 5 or more cards in rest mode, you then have for 1 energy a 15k dual attacker, which in my eyes is very good for its cost. And it's the best kind of cantrip you can have for outside of Frieza Death Embrace for this color combination. Well, in my eyes, it's the best cantrip for yellow. But that's the deck. That's the whole deck. So normally plays are so every turn you're gonna wanna you want to stay as unawakened as long as possible. You always want to try and discard a card, mainly the Whis, Goku, or a multicolored card, so you've got it ready for the unawakened side. Or basically just want to discard a card, mainly, as I said, mainly the Whis and the Goku ape, to draw a card. Turn 1 you want to play like a cantrip, or you want to either you want to play a Cabba down ready to attack. If you're going first, you can either play the turn 1 you're going to be playing a dual color card, discarding a card to draw 2 cards. And turn 2 you can either you either want to once again discard a card, and either you want to play play a Cabba to help yourself awaken, or a Basil for a cantrip, or if you don't want to do either of those things, discard an 8 to draw 2, and then, as I said, tap 2 energy to draw 2 more cards with the ape. And then turn 3 is when you want to play Unison, because 1, it can help if they've played anything since then, which not many decks play Sonic in the early turns unless it's aggro, which so helps really good against aggro. Bringing it down, plus 1ing, attacking over the battle cards on the leader, and then you can awaken if you want. You don't really want, but you don't really need to, you don't have to. And then turn 4 is a turn when you normally want to awaken, because by that turn you could potentially drop the Fu Banisher, or at least swing a rival on the Beerus to tap 2, so you're going 4 energy to 2, and then awaken to drop the Goku and then go in, because you get, it's almost like you'll get, unless they're at high life, you get an extra 2 cards off the offering, and then you've got things like the Broly to help if they left a lot of energy out to check their hand, and you've got Defense in Violet Rays and Wolfang Fist from turn 3 onwards. So that's what you want to do. So it's a very good deck in terms of drawing loads. The main cards you want to see early is, at least in your hand, you want a mulligan for at least one dual colour. Doesn't matter which one it is, because with the Goku and the Vegeta, you've got another copy in there, and with the other ones, like, you don't really want to do, you don't want to really charge the super combo, but you want to look for any of the other super dual colour cards to charge turn 1. And apart from that, the only other cards you want to have in your opening hand, it's in general, if you're fearing that by getting turn 3 you're not going to see it, I mean, you do want to have the Whist or the Goku as your discards. Any of it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as you've got a red or yellow card in hand to discard. And as I said, you get a lot of draw power. And if you see the Goku Apes, you're going to see a lot go through your deck, quite a lot, and be able to easily self-awaken by either your opponent attacking you or the Whists or the Cabas as well. It might not seem much by only 8 cards to self-awaken you, but it's going to be easy enough to do. That's the deck. I feel like it's going to be pretty good in this in the upcoming format. And it's one of my favourite decks to play. It's one of my top 5 decks I've ever played since the beginning of this game. And I'm looking forward to giving it a try. I've just got to get some more Violent Rays put in the deck. And I'm waiting for the November Store Championships to get the updated text on the SS4 Goku as well. Just so I like to have all my cards with the updated text. But thank you for watching. If you have watched, if you like Red, and if you like me, you like the best Beerus, this Beerus. And like the video if you enjoyed the list, if you enjoyed my description of it and basically walkthrough for the cards, because it helps me out, and if you like this kind of content. Also, give me a comment if you feel like there's anything you would change about this, or any cards you can advise that might be good, or it's basically just any advice that you could provide, or if you want anything covered that I didn't answer. So I think I covered everything, but then I am only human, I can forget. That helped me. I'll be able to answer your questioning as quick as possible. And also, lastly, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Keep you updated with videos like this from me, and also help me out as well. But thank you for watching all this way. I know it's been a while. Most of my deck trials are around 30 minutes because I like to go through the deck. I give it a good description as well. Go through all the cards, a leader. It's better to have a more descriptive view, and hopefully soon I will have some gameplay videos with cube drafting or with with testing out this deck as well. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, which should hopefully be Red Gogeta BR for 7-11. So thank you, and bye.